The Digital Photography Cafe show is brought to you by Focus Pyramid, the autofocus lens calibration tool for your camera.
Welcome to the Digital Photography Cafe show. Join hosts Trevor Curran and Joseph Christina as they serve up the hottest photography news and commentary.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. This is episode 181. I'm Joseph Christina here with my co-host Trevor Curran. Last week's show we talked about Adobe Camera Raw 8.8 and Lightroom 6, the new USB-C One Cable Wonder MacBook, Amazon testing drones, and the resurrection of Apple's Final Cut Pro X. If you haven't watched last week's show, I encourage you to do so. You can find it at digitalphotographycafe.com and our YouTube channel, youtube.com/dphotocafe. Listen with the popular Stitcher, TuneIn, and Xbox Music apps, or subscribe through iTunes or RSS.
Hey Joe, we're back. How you doing, man?
Very good, my friend. We're here for another week.
Yes, we are, and we've got a lot of news to get through today.
A lot of things going on today, for sure. So everything doing well? It's starting to warm up over there, I would imagine.
It teases us. It's springtime.
Yeah.
We get the tease. We get a little snow, we get a little rain, we get a little sun, then we have a mess.
Right. Well, down here in Florida, we get just a ton of rain, but this is now going to start getting into this crazy season where we get thunderstorms.
Yep.
Every day. Yesterday, power was knocked out for an hour. This type of thing. So. Kind of annoying, but that's the way it is. Can't help it. So yeah, we have a lot of things. So I guess we should dive right into it. A lot of news today. A lot of things going on. So Instagram, right? They announced a new app called Layout, which is kind of interesting. It kind of looks kind of nice. What do you think?
Yeah, a lot of these apps for photo sharing and stuff, they give you different capabilities, and this one gives you the ability to combine multiple photos into a single image that you can share, obviously, through Instagram. It gives you the ability to mirror and flip and,
Right.
replace images. And you can do two images or a bunch of images. It's kind of make like a collage. So
Yeah, like a collage. Yeah, that whole mirroring and flipping is, you could take someone's face, cut it in half, flip it, and end up mirroring one side to the other side, see what someone looks like with both same
Symmetry.
sides. You could replace things. Yeah, exactly. Symmetry. So, it's kind of cool. It's, just another thing, another app. I do like the idea of being able to take 5, 6, 7, 8 photos, 9 photos, and put them all into one and send it. It's kind of neat, that whole collage thing.
yeah, just another creative tool.
Collages are always fun.
Yeah.
Exactly. For the pro, no, but for every day, just having fun, kind of neat.
Yeah, absolutely.
So last week, I know we were talking about mirrorless and how, I was talking about how I really believe that all pros will be shooting mirrorless within 2 to 3 years. And one of the folks that are they're in it. They've been in it from the very beginning, is Sony. And they are the ones that really kind of revolutionized it, let's say, by putting in a full frame sensor into the mirrorless camera with the Sonys, the A7s, and they had the A7R, A7 II, A7, on and on. Well, I guess the brand new one is right around the corner, according to rumors, right? 36 megapixel, what is it? It's an A7R2, I guess.
Yeah,
right?
This is the A7R2, and yep, it's supposed to be using the same 36 megapixel sensor as the A7R, which is nice. There no specific date for launch, but the specs are kind of coming in pretty solid. So the rumors are saying that it's probably going to be soon.
Right, absolutely. And it's going to be supposedly, faster autofocusing. I'm the autofocus guy. I like that. One of their problems that they did have was, that snappy autofocus, and especially when you attach that camera body to another lens, let's say a Canon lens or some third party. That whole thing just kind of slowed things down a lot. Maybe they're doing some improvements on that. 5-axis stabilization, of course, that's fantastic. Same thing with the A7 II. Silent shutter mode. Now, I know this is major because a lot of people were saying, "Hey, I have a mirrorless camera. One of the major things that I want mirrorless for, not only lightweight but whatnot, but I want for silent shooting. I want to be, standing next to the rabbi or the priest and take photos and not being clack, 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 just
exactly.
horrible, right? I want this to be silent. And that was the whole thing. But, we found even using it back, I think it was at Photo Plus Expo, it was kind of loud.
Yeah.
They now have, quote unquote, the silent shutter mode, which is kind of neat, and I guess they're addressing issues with that. I don't know if they addressed the original issue with the loudness, but having this new silent shutter mode, I'm sure people were asking for. So they're finally offering that, supposedly. So
yeah, I think that's really cool. Looks like a nice camera. We'll see what
Yep.
it actually comes out with. We'll let you know when it launches.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
Amazon had a neat announcement. They are now offering unlimited photo storage for $11.99 a year. This is pretty cool. I mean, this gives you unlimited photo storage for your JPEGs, for DNG files, for most of the major RAW formats for Nikon, Canon, and Sony. This is pretty cool. It also gives you an additional 5 gigabytes of storage for non-photos, like videos or miscellaneous
For videos,
files or
just
whatever.
generic. Yeah, I do see also that if you want to up that and include video and music into this, it'd be $59.99 per year, which still isn't too bad for just unlimited amounts.
Yeah.
Now,
and that's
bear in mind,
unlimited everything: videos, documents, music, photos.
That's
at
unlimited
that
everything.
point, you're uploading files.
Right, exactly. And the thing is, the problem with this is it's good for them right now, but as the advent of quicker and quicker upstream, or the implementation of quicker and quicker upstream happens, this is going to be problematic for them, I'm going to guess. Because right now, for me as a maximum DSL user, it's 6 meg down, and I think it's probably about a half a meg up.
Right.
512K. That's very slow.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
to be able to send gigabytes of data or DNGs or raw files, it's just not going to happen. It just can't work. But even with you having a cable service, you're getting 1, 2 with a maximum of 3 megabytes up. Still, that's pretty fast, but it's not all, crazy quick either.
Yeah, no. I mean,
so-
honestly, this type of service is your backup service. It's not primary storage. Although there are no limitations as far as downloads and uploads go. So you could store it, bring it down. It's not like Amazon S3 where you pay for the storage and your upload is free. But then if you download it, you're charged for download. It's not like that. You can send it up and bring it down whenever you need to.
And it's not like Dropbox either, where you have a little place on your computer and it says, oh, this is my Dropbox and I can pull things in and out at will.
Right.
The way this works is you have an application, a cloud drive application, either for PC, for Mac. And what it is basically is an authentication package that, number one, authenticates who you are, and then authenticates that the file that you wish to send are either DNG, JPEGs, or RAWs.
Yeah, a
In other words,
recognizable
photo files.
format. Yep.
Exactly. And then it will, once authenticated, it will send the photos up. You cannot download with that package.
Yeah, well, the desktop app is basically an uploader. It's a drag and drop uploader. This is a manual process. It's not a syncing process from your computer. So
like Dropbox.
Not like Dropbox, right. So you couldn't go in and tell it that you want your Lightroom library folder to sync to it, and it won't do that. But they do have an iOS and Android app which you can use to sync your photos to. So that is pretty cool because with iCloud, with the iCloud free plan that you get, you're limited with storage. So what this does is gives you the ability to have this Amazon cloud, sync all your photos up there, and just use the iCloud for your data backup. Your app backup.
So it's unlimited. $11.99. It comes to $1 per month.
$1 a month. I know.
So,
and if you're an Amazon Prime member, it's free. It's one of your perks. So you can
it's been free for over a year, and we just don't.
Yeah. It came out
Most
last
people
year.
don't even know it.
And honestly, I probably got the email, just never took notice to it. And now this new option came available, and it says, "Oh no, by the way, it's free." So. I downloaded the app, the desktop app. I tried it today and it played with it a little bit and it works fine.
Yeah, awesome. Awesome. So Canon, more rumors.
Yeah.
Canon 4K video camera, fixed lens, supposedly was seen in China, right?
Yeah, yep. There are some photos that have come out online. There was somebody that looked like Jackie Chan actually sitting next to the
Right.
president of Canon in China there. And they were reviewing this camera. And the camera is
Yeah.
a 4K video camera. It's got a 1-inch CMOS sensor. That's what, and this is all kind of rumor, kind of specs and all. 58 millimeter filter. It's got built-in Wi-Fi, which is great. They say similar shape to the 70D. I don't know.
Right.
I looked at the 70D and I looked at this body. It does look to be a little bit different. So I don't really buy that. It has an external viewfinder. So on the back of it, it has the LCD, and it looks like there is an eyepiece that attaches to it as well, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, so it looks like it's specifically for video.
Right.
It's actually not going for photo at all. It's going to be all video. And you know what, Trev? I think we're all going to be shooting a form of video in not too distant of a future, where we're just going to be taking little snippets of 4K, probably at that point 8K video that are 5 seconds, 10 seconds long. Go in the back. Let's say you have 4 seconds, 30 frames per second. So you end up with 120 shots. You just kind of skim through it and say, "Yep, I want that one."
Yeah, to get
I
just
know
the perfect
with
shot.
Right. And I know with APS-C sensor doing this 4K shooting like we saw over at WPPI, pulling a frame out of 4K video is definitely possible for printing a 8x10 it's just a no-brainer.
Right.
So at that double that, maybe 8K at that point, maybe we're all going to be just pushing a button and holding it there and pulling in 100, 200, 300 frames and then picking it.
Just scrubbing through it in
After
post and
just
finding
scrub
the perfect shot.
Yeah, and that's going to be it. That's all we're going
Where
to
everybody's
do is
eyes
find-
are open all at once,
Yeah, exactly. That might not be too far in the distant future either.
Yeah.
So, anyways, a lot of cool stuff coming out for sure, but there's a lot more coming. But let's go ahead and take a quick break to hear from one of our sponsors.
Are you frustrated with slightly out of focus images when you know your autofocus spot was dead on? It's simply not your fault. From manufacturer to manufacturer, and even lens copy to lens copy, there are slight variances to the exact spot where light is being focused onto the sensor. Finally, there's a product that allows you to compensate for those variances and make sharper images immediately. Focus Pyramid, the autofocus lens calibration tool, is an absolute must for every photographer. If you want to make the sharpest images possible, then you need to take control over your camera's focusing system. With the Focus Pyramid, you can calibrate all of your lenses on your lunch break. The Focus Pyramid makes lens calibration quick and easy at an affordable price. So give your lenses a new lease on life and take your photography to the next level. Head over to focuspyramid.com/DPC and get an additional 10% off just for being a show listener.
Sorry, guys, we are back. Kind of the next story is really interesting for us as photographers. We all know that having a site that looks good but is also mobile friendly is really imperative, because most of the brides, most of the folks out there that are trying to find you or looking for a photographer, they're doing so in the comfort of their house, on their iPad, or maybe in the car on an iPhone or whatnot. Well, Google recognizes this also, how important mobile friendly is, and as of the 21st of April, something big is going to happen from Google, right, Trev?
Yeah, this is really big news, guys, and this is something that you all really need to pay attention to. If your part of your marketing strategy is getting found in the search results, organic search results, you want to drive local traffic to your website and everything, you know how important that search engine optimization is for your website. And as of April 21st, 2015, if your website is not mobile friendly, they are going to start knocking you down for it.
Right.
I mean,
you start getting hit with those little black marks.
yeah,
right?
you're gonna
So
get
what
the naughty
happens
marks
is
on your report card.
yeah, you guys are spending money on SEO, on AdWords, and all this stuff to bring yourself up to page one. Hopefully, page one, even if you're at the bottom of page one. Well, if your site is no longer mobile friendly, you probably even paying all this money or doing all your SEO tricks and techniques, you might end up page two or even lower for not having that mobile friendly site. So that's definitely something just you need to look at for sure. And what's really neat is in our show notes, we'll put a link, whereas you can go to this link, type in your website, and they'll do an analysis on it and tell you if it is mobile friendly or not. And then what is wrong with it so you can have it fixed.
So you can fix it. Yeah, that's right. I mean, really what it comes down to is if you're using a web service for your website, or if you're using WordPress and you're using a template that is not mobile friendly, honestly, you really just need to change it. You need to update. Yeah. You need to get a responsive theme. You need a responsive website that is going to automatically reformat. Google has said in the past that they prefer a responsive mobile-friendly website as opposed to a dedicated mobile website. The reason being is when they index content, they need to assign authority to a website. And, like if you have m.yourphotobusiness.com, M standing for mobile, and then you have yourphotobusiness.com, and you basically are duplicating, let's say, that content, Google doesn't know which site to send that authority to. Even though mobile is a subdomain, and it kind of passes through, they still need to assign authority. So they really don't like a separate mobile site. They want one combined responsive website. And we've been talking about this for a long time. And I mean, every client that I do a website for, they get a mobile friendly website. I mean, that's part of what
absolutely.
we do.
And that's we've talked about in the past. That's what you're doing with CP. You're creating these sites for the photographers that they don't have to worry about. That they can just go. They add their information, add their photos, nice and easy, and all that back end work is being done by you. And that's it. They build it, but the thing is anytime there's changes like this that happen, those changes can definitely be implemented really quickly, so you don't have to worry about dropping in SEO. So
that's right. That's right. I mean, that's why when we're building out this, the website builder for photographers on Current Photographer, I mean, that was one of our number one efforts. We want to make sure that the templates are really good looking and that they're mobile friendly, because we know how important that is. So anyway, go to the show notes, click on the link, go check your website to see what type of rating you get. And if you need to do something, you really should act quickly. Again, I mean, to just kind of pimp my own stuff, I'm going to say head over to currentphotographer.com, sign up to get notified of when our service launches. If you need a new website that's mobile friendly, all of our base starting points, all of them will be mobile friendly. So head over there, sign up, and we're going to try and get this thing live as soon as possible to accommodate this.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So moving on, Apple. Really interesting news here. Supposedly, they invented a camera, quote unquote, a camera. We don't know what it's going to be in. Will it be in an iPhone or some kind of actual camera? But it's a 3-sensor processing camera that has a prism and 3 sensors in it. So the prism splits the light and it has 3 sensors that are picking up the light, the red, the green, and the blue. Very interesting, because we know that that normally there's 2 sensors on the market, right? You have your bare array sensor, and then you have like a foveation sensor.
Right.
And what's really interesting here, and I don't know exactly how this all works, is there royalties being paid, or are they doing it some way slightly different than the way the foveation sensor is created? For example, Sigma uses foveation, and everyone else uses these bare array sensors. And some of them, like Fuji, they use like an X-Trend, which is a combination, pulling out anti-aliasing and all this stuff. But regardless, the whole idea of this, when I look at it, it feels very foveant.
Right.
And it's like, wow, can you imagine a foveant sensor in your iPhone that's actually not losing light? Because with a foveant sensor, you don't have a filter on each pixel that's picking up the three colors, right? Your red, your green, your blue, your RGB. So it by using foveant, you're letting in a lot more light because it's capturing on one sensor the blue, the other the red, the other the green, and then putting it together. Normally you get sharper images. It's just very, very cool technology. And to see Apple pushing towards this, right? It's like, wow.
Well, that is the rumblings, and obviously we know there's going to be an iPhone 7. I mean, there's going to be a 6S, but I don't think a 6S is going to have this technology in it. This is kind of too big of a jump. I could see this being more in the 7 or down the road. But this is huge. I mean, Apple has always prided itself on having great camera quality. And I do agree they do. I mean, do they have the largest sensor with the most megapixels or whatever? No, but their image quality is pretty good. And having this, I mean, would really raise the bar on smartphone cameras for sure.
Yeah, and if they ended up paying for royalties or paying on some type of licensing or something to Dick Merrill over there, the guy that ended up inventing the X3 foveant, that would be a very lucrative thing. Now, obviously, he's no longer around to enjoy it, but his family will be. I think he passed away in 2008. But regardless, that would be just absolutely huge. Or they just took the idea and they made their own version of it and make sure that they didn't step on any patents. That's possible. That's usually Apple loves to do that.
Right. Exactly.
So, but the idea, it just shows that they're really in it when it comes to photography, mobile photography. And I can definitely see this happening for an iPhone. I seriously doubt they're going to go down the road of the old camera that they did once before.
That Apple Quick Take. Oh my goodness.
That failed horribly.
What a horrible thing that was. I mean, at the time, there wasn't anything else like it on the market, but the image quality was so poor. We actually had one of those back in our old studio days. It was our first attempt at getting digital images in for comping. And they were almost unusable. They were so bad.
They're pretty much unusable.
They were awful.
Really bad. So moving on, guys, if you are not using some type of tablet, you really should be. For editing photos, for doing any kind of manipulation, it's just, it could be a
stylus tablet, not a tablet meaning an iPad tablet.
Right, some type of tablet that uses one of these, right? A nice little stylus, a little pen, a drawing tablet. They really make your life less miserable when it comes to editing photos. It's just, they're fantastic. And now, this article that we were reading, this company, it's let me see, the company is called 10-1 Design, and they made this app. It's called Inklet. And it sits on your computer. And what's really kind of interesting about this is it uses your trackpad that's already on like your MacBook. Let's say.
Yeah, the new MacBook, right?
Even the old.
Okay,
it'll use the old also. But it gives you the ability to use like a pogo stylus and write on your Mac. And what's really nice is different to let's say a Wacom. It gives you a lot of functionality. You can get in there and zoom in using multi-point and whatnot, and only work on little areas. But it's really, really interesting. And what I really like about this is now they're pushing it towards the new architecture, the new Mac release, right? The new Force, as they call it, right? Which force sensitivity is going to be absolutely huge, I think, coming up.
Yeah, I really think it is. I mean, there's even talks of this Force Touch being implemented into like the iPad and the iPhone with the touch screens,
right?
Exactly. Because the new trackpad is basically a sheet of glass, and there is it's sensing where your fingers are, and it's giving this feedback to your fingers, or in this case to the pen device. So yeah, I mean, this new Force Touch is going to be really big technology. I mean,
it could be revolutionary, especially for people that have any type of visual impairment. I can see this as being a very nice way to be able to browse around a website, and then as soon as you roll over, the finger rolls over a button that is, let's say, a button that will pull up some type of data and not just a link or whatever it is.
Right.
It might vibrate, or it might give some indication that, hey, you are now over a button. So I could, this is going to be really big, especially in that arena, but also for us as photographers. If you guys don't have some type of tablet to be able to use this, to try it, to see if you like it, I think that there's a learning curve to using, let's say, a Wacom tablet.
Sure.
But once you get it, you'll never go back to trying to use your mouse, because it's basically impossible to do really fine editing with a mouse. So it's something to look at. The price of it is going to be $24.95 is the cost for the software itself. If you spend $34.90, you get the Pogo also, which is a really nice stylus for writing on that little sensor. So for me, I think it's a really cool to get into. Is it going to be a professional tool? Probably not, but it definitely has some really interesting prospects for visually impaired, for a lot of other things that are going on. That specific technology along with this, maybe it's handwriting recognition. Maybe it's just simply signing documents or whatnot.
Sure.
And officially, in other words, officially signing documents, because now it really could get in there and really you can see what a signature looks like. So I don't know. It looks interesting. I like it.
Yeah. I mean, again, forays into new technology here. I mean, where it can go, honestly,
the
sky's the limit, really. I mean, they're doing some amazing stuff with technology, things that we've never, ever even thought of. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where all this force feedback touch goes and what all we can do with it. I mean, they're saying even in the iPad, like, using the keyboard, some people can touch type with the iPad keyboard, but they have to look at the keys. I personally can't. I feel very awkward doing it. But now they're saying, that if they incorporate this Force Touch into the iPad Surface, you can actually basically feel the keys, and you can actually type without having to look at the keys, which would be really cool. So, I'm excited. I want to see where it's going to go.
Yeah. That's Apple. New technology all the time.
That's right.
Right. So, anyways, we need to get out of here.
Yes. So, Joe, if people want to connect with you outside of the show, what's the best way for them to reach you?
Yes, they can find me on Twitter, of course. That's at Joseph Christina, and that's Christina without an H.
Right, and you can connect with me on Twitter. It's at Trevor Current.
So, all right, everyone, that is the end of another show for another week. You can get all the show notes from this episode by visiting digitalphotographycafe.com/181. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/dphotocafe, or call our comment line 440-345-6707. Once again, that's 440-345-6707, and we will see you next week.
You've been watching the Digital Photography Cafe show with Trevor Current and Joseph Christina. Subscribe to our YouTube channel with any compatible device by visiting youtube.com/dphotocafe. Be sure to subscribe to our audio feed through iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, and Xbox Music apps, or through RSS. Visit digitalphotographycafe.com for show notes and to connect with your host.